refused to get fit. The idea, which comes in a report produced for Westminster Council in London, would mean cutting allowances such as housing benefit if a doctor prescribed exercise but the patient did not do it. The council has been told it could save significant amounts of taxpayers' money.
This is about more effectively using the resources we already have. So what we need local government to do is to integrate public health across the services that it already delivers, thinking about how housing, planning, leisure, environmental services, licensing, all of these can make a contribution towards better public health. And better public health is better for people, but is also better for the council because it saves money down the road.
Let's get more thoughts on it. Alex Thompson is Chief Executive of Localis, a think tank that deals with local government issues. And what do you make of ideas like this then, Mr. Thompson?
I think more broadly the idea of giving public health responsibilities to local government is a good one. On this specific idea, and I have to stress I haven't seen the report so I don't know in detail, but the specific idea seems to me perhaps to have some practical difficulties associated with it.
OK, on the specifics of it, but the overall theme, you're taking the issue of empowering local government rather than everything coming by diktat from the centre.
Absolutely, that's our general approach, is that the centre can't possibly have a solution that suits everywhere across the country. Much better to let people closer to the ground make decisions on how best to affect things, in this case, the public health of their residents.
But you think, the problems that then arise from that is that you get different situations, different policies, different implementations in different parts of the country. Indeed, even if it's London, even in different parts of one city.
Absolutely, but we would say that's a good thing. There isn't one solution everywhere. Places are different. Places have different needs, and the residents everywhere have different problems, different health problems. It should be up to the local people, local politicians, and local officers to have a sort of view on how best to tackle it. There just isn't one single, one-size-fits-all solution, nor should there be.
I suppose a knock-on effect would be it would put a rocket up, wouldn't it? Local elections, notoriously low turnouts in some of those compared to general elections. But of course, if your local authorities making decisions on issues that so fundamentally affect you, you might be more concerned about getting out and using your democratic rights to either get rid of them or support them.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, the more power they have, the more it's in your interest, as you say, to pay attention to what they're doing and think about who is best placed to represent what you think should be going on in a local area. It's absolutely right. The idea is you give more power to local areas, and the democratic engagement goes up, which, as you say, has been not great over some years now. But we would argue that's because power's been sucked to the centre by governments over many decades. The
problem is, though, isn't it, when we get back to the centre, which has to devolve these powers or empower local authorities to take them on, is that it's very hard as a national politician to let go of things you like to control.
Absolutely true. Again, that's one of the reasons why, despite the fact that you can make a really good case, the centre hasn't been tremendously successful at solving problems over a long time, because we think, we would argue for the reasons that you can't solve it all from the centre, from Westminster, from within a mile or two from where I'm sitting now. It's just not possible. But it's very hard to let go, even if it's evident that you don't have a solution. And indeed, health was run by local government for a long time, taken away in 1948. The idea that this is novel is not true. They used to be very good at it. They had it taken away because there was a fear that there was this inequality of provision. But I don't think anyone can seriously argue there isn't inequality of provision of health services now, and that's after 60-plus years of a National Health Service.
That's an interesting point you make about health. What else, what other kinds of things that perhaps we don't imagine could be devolved?
Well, I think the government is running currently an interesting programme, community budgets pilots. That's the idea of allowing local authorities to have a greater say in certain areas they're piloting, as I say, about tying up strands of government spending, because at the moment every bit of spending is kept in separate boxes with their own goals, their own bureaucracies and all the rest of it. Much better to try and join these things up so they can make better use of what is, after all, a lot less public money now and going forward because of the problems we face as a country fiscally.
I mean, and would this apply to economic policies as well? I know Lord Heseltine had a deep look at this and is a very keen advocate of getting money closer to where the decisions are made. I mean, we could almost end up with Westminster just sitting there having a bit of oversight and not much to do.
Well, that's you've identified one of the problems why this might take longer to happen than we would think is right. But you're right. Lord Heseltine's report advocates that much greater control over how encouragement, fostering of new business should take place closer to the ground. Again, he used the example of local enterprise partnerships, which are partly local government but also local businesses, crucially, to play a key role in deciding where investment in skills and infrastructure and similar stuff should take place.
Okay, well, Mr. Thompson, thank you very much indeed. Some very interesting ideas thrown out there. Alex Thompson from Localis. And on the issue of government trying to help out business, a government scheme which offers young entrepreneurs loans to help them start a business is being expanded. David Cameron hopes an extra